So Pro Q4 is out and it is incredible. Lots of cool new updates. There's some pretty neat little tricks I found you can do with it. So in this video, I'm just going to take you through all of the new features they've added, all the changes they made between Pro Q3 and Pro Q4. So one of the really nice things they added is that you get a preview of the band you're going to create. You see, as I'm hovering around in here, we get kind of like a ghostly vision of EQs to come. Look at that. So I know that if I were to click right here, I would create a shelf. And if I were to click to make a point right here, I would get a bell curve. It's also really nice when you hover along the middle point here, you can see that we would make a high pass, a low shelf, all of the bell curves in the middle, and then of course a high shelf and a low pass. Really takes the guesswork out of what you're going to make, depending on how low or how high you are clicking to create this new band. The next new addition is this EQ sketch feature, where you can actually draw in an EQ curve, and then it will create a series of curves that will match what you've drawn in. Let me show you. So we've got this breakbeat going on here. And I'm going to click this little button down here, and now you see I can just draw in curves like so. If I don't like any of that, I can click undo and get rid of it. This is a really cool feature for just getting your tracks locked in really quick. Or if you know you just need a pretty fast tilt, you can do something like that. And all of a sudden, boom, we have our tilt EQ like that, which you can then go back in once you've made it and dial it in however you'd like. One thing I'll say about the EQ sketch feature is that it takes a little bit of practice, I think. I remember when I was first starting to use it, it just kept going wild. Like I was just making EQ curves that looked like this. I'm like, oh my God, how do I get this to not be a super sharp, pointy, crazy thing? I'm like, it's not very useful. But I realized over time, for me, at least the way that I've been using it, it's really good for just these more gentle approaches like that, where I'm kind of doing a bit of like a quick swipe through the middle. Like, let's just say I need some more lows, less mids, more highs. Well, I can just do a really quick, gentle swipe through like that. And then, you know, if I need to dial it back, because sometimes it's difficult with a trackpad or a mouse to get it as precisely as you'd like it. Either way, a really nice new feature, something that I've been enjoying quite a bit. The one feature I'm probably most excited about, and I think this might be the feature that makes me switch to using Pro Q4 more often than EQ8 in Ableton. They added this new feature in Pro Q4 that allows you to see every single instance of the plugin you have in your project all at once. And I'm always working with 100+ tracks. Oftentimes I have to go through one by one and make sure that all the lows are taken out that I don't need, just general cleanup, stuff like that. But now with Pro Q4's instance list, I can click this little area down here and it will pull up and show me every single instance of Pro Q4 that I have in this project. Right now I just have the 3, one on this breakbeat, one on this bass loop, and one on this little melody loop I've got going on in here. And the nice thing about the instance list is that it can show you where there's some potential conflict between all the different sounds. It's kind of showing up in these glowing red sections. So we have one in the lower mids on the bass loop and one just kind of in this area on the melody loop. And I can see that there's some potential conflict here between that harmonic in the melody and some of the drums. For the bass loop and the breakbeat, there's a ton of conflict down here in the lows. I'm not doing any proper side shading or anything like that, but it's a great way for you to get like a bird's eye view of what's going on in your project. If you want, you can turn off the collision reference button. That will get rid of those little red areas where it thinks there might be some overlap in the frequencies. Or you can assign the collision overlap to a different EQ. So now instead of saying this one is colliding with this one, it's saying this one is colliding with this one. I can use this little slider to make them larger, and at a certain point you're able to actually interact directly with each one of these. So maybe if I want to try and take care of a little bit of that conflict, I can go ahead and pull a little bit out of this band. Pull a little bit down right there too. And maybe not boost this low quite so much, or just take some of the lows out. Either way, this is just a quick demo. Normally I'd be side chaining these to make sure they all lock in together. But it's just so cool that you can kind of check out all of the different instances of Pro Q4 you have in your project all at once now. We've also got this auto zoom button. If you have like 20 or 30 of these EQs in your project, you might want to keep this slider a bit smaller. That way you can see a larger number of the ones that are there, but at this point, it's harder to interact with them. So you can turn on this auto zoom, and as soon as you mouse over one of them, it'll open up and allow you to see and interact with the different EQ points on it. You can also directly search for an EQ. Like if I type in 18, it'll bring up the one that's on channel 18. You can also pin some of these. Like if I add the first and the third one here on the breakbeat and the melody, I click a little pin button. Now, whenever I click this pin icon, it'll show me only the EQs that I've pinned. That way, if you have like a few important EQs that you like to keep up on top, or at least just get some really quick access to, you can do it like this. Such a cool and innovative feature. It's one of those things where honestly, I kind of wish that a lot of other plugins had the ability to do something like this, or to interact in some global way with all the plugins that you have in your project. One of those really neat, innovative features, I think. Another cool thing they've added in is some different saturation modes. And that's with this little button right down here. When I click this, I see three options: clean, subtle, and warm. So clean is the default, and that's like your standard Pro Q sound that has been in all the previous versions. But you can also add a subtle amount of saturation, which they describe as sort of like a vintagey saturation. And then also warm, which is more of like a tube-like saturation. So this can add a little bit of warmth and color to your sounds. Another addition involves the dynamic EQ mode. So if we make this band dynamic, and then click these two little arrows to open up the extended panel, we're now presented with attack and release options. It defaults to 50%, but let's just go pretty extreme to check this out. I'll add in quite a lot. So listen on the snare here. I'm really tanking it just to prove a point. We get a lot of the click of that snare coming through. Now, if I set the attack all the way to 0%, as fast as it'll go, it dampens the front edge of that snare more. The dynamic band is clamping down much more quickly, and we're not getting a lot of the front edge attack coming through. This honestly makes it act a lot more like a compressor now that we have these controls. If I do a very fast attack and very fast release, we can see this band jumping around quite a bit, but with a nice slow release, we see the band stays compressed. It stays, well, reduced in volume, let's say. It stays reduced in volume for longer. I'm going to go ahead and put this to a fairly slow attack and a pretty fast release, something I might normally do for drums to get some nice, snappy, punchy drums. And it's making this snare a lot clickier. Not really something I'd probably do to this effect, but to prove a point, it's a pretty good way to hear it. Since we're over here talking about EQs, I figured I'd quickly mention that over on EDMProd, we've got a free EQ cheat sheet. This thing is super helpful for figuring out where some problem areas in a sound might be, or if you're working with instruments maybe you're a little unfamiliar with, this will be a really good starting spot for how to EQ that instrument to get it to sound kind of how you're envisioning, get it to the kind of quality that you want. We've got a link down in the description. Go ahead and check it out. I saved the best for last. The thing I'm most excited about here is the Spectral Dynamics mode. Many of you might be familiar with a plugin by Oak Sound called Soothe. And Soothe is basically a spectral resonance suppressor. It's a nice transparent way to tuck in those frequencies that are really sharp and popping out of the mix that might be a little bit difficult to address with something like an EQ. But now that we have spectral processing in Pro Q4, we can do a lot of the same things. Let's just take, for example, this little peak that appears here for a moment in this vocal. Sometimes that pops out right there. All right, cool. I want to try and duck that spectrally. I'll make a band here. I'll set the dynamic range, and then instead of making a dynamic EQ, I'll click this button to turn it spectral. Then I'll tighten the Q up a little bit, maybe increase the slope. Sometimes, I don't know. Just to really focus in on that one. Sometimes, I don't.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes.
There we go. We've been able to spectrally duck that one little peak. I'm going to widen this band quite a bit just so you can really hear what this spectral ducking is going to sound like across the whole vocal.
Sometimes I don't know where you go, where you go. I live.
So you can hear we're making this sound extremely flat. What we're doing is we're taking out all of the harmonics that are giving this vocal the characteristic, but that is what spectral dynamic processing is. You can make adjustments to how wide or how narrow the bands that are being selected and therefore ducked are by using this slider, which we access by pressing the little arrow keys right here. At lower numbers, the bands will be wider and therefore less selective.
Sometimes.
That means it's going to be ducking out a wider area for each little region that it detects some spectral peaking at. And then at the higher amount, it's going to be much more precise, much finer peaks, and it won't cut out as much of the sound, but it could start to feel a little bit almost comb filtery or a bit strange.
Sometimes I don't know where you go.
Either way, everything that I'm doing to this vocal right now is sounding a little bit strange. I just really want to try and give you an idea of what that sounds like. Hope you found that useful. If you've been using Pro Q4 in any weird, unique ways, throw it down there in the comments. We'd love to check it out.